just a few months ago when the Niners were in the NFC Championship game, they were really doing victory laps on their whole plan. People questioned keeping Jimmy Garoppolo and sitting Trey Lance a year, and they were like, see, it worked out. We have a Super Bowl run. Everyone thinks Jimmy's great. It was the right thing to do. And then cut to now. They couldn't trade him. Still on the team, and it's looking like he might be the freaking backup quarterback this year. So I know it seems beside the point. We're going back before we go forward, but I just want to go back one more time. Should the 49ers have traded Jimmy Garoppolo last year, as soon as they got in Trey Lance? What do you think?
That one's tough because, only the Niners in their first conversations with Trey would know exactly where on the development road he began. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that answer. If I knew definitively, Grant, this guy didn't know this, he didn't know that. There's some basics. I don't know if it had to be Jimmy, but they had to have somebody else. And I really believe my buddy Tony Pauline. Tony Pauline says that they were all in on the red rifle, Andy Dalton, and that the Dalton was coming here, and that the Bears just outbid him. He decided to go to Chicago. If they had the red rifle, I think they trade Jimmy Garoppolo. They go with Dalton. They bring Lance along a little quicker than they did. Yeah. And I think that's the move that they wanted to make. And when Dalton said, you know what, I'm going to Chicago, they're going to let me start, I think they had no other move to pivot off of too.
That would have been great because it would have been fair to make Trey Lance compete with someone else who's a veteran, who's had experience, but didn't have the locker room in their back pocket. I mean, How could Trey Lance really take the team away from Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, he has BFFs in that locker room. It wasn't going to happen. So yeah, get rid of him. It always killed me how people say, oh, well, Trey's not ready here. He makes a rookie mistake here. Fine. We're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Right. He makes rookie mistakes. He throws to linebackers every day in practice, in games. He does the same mistakes every freaking game. So it's like, that's why I felt that there was actually a discussion. Should a Super Bowl contender start a rookie quarterback? I mean, the veteran plays like a rookie. So what's the difference? That's the way I looked at it. And if they had started, they thought that the right reason to start Jimmy was for two reasons. One, they'd win a Super Bowl, or they'd do well enough that they could trade Jimmy, that his trade value would go up. It was reported they could have got a second-round pick for him last year. It didn't go up. What happened was he got hurt again. I mean, come on. He got hurt again. It didn't work. I'm thinking in retrospect, and it's not like 2020 hindsight. A lot of people raise their eyebrows and you're like, hold on. You just moved up this far for this guy, but you don't want to make what? So I don't know.
They feel vindicated because they got a couple playoff wins out of it and they extended their season. But let's ask the next question, which is probably, I think, connected to it. If Trey Lance had played last year instead of doing what he did, would he be further along or would he not be as far along as he is right now? And I don't think there's any doubt he would have been further along. So you traded furthering Trey Lance's development over a couple of playoff wins and a chance with Jimmy Garoppolo. And ultimately, he showed you against the Rams what you already knew when he played against Kansas City in 2019. So I don't fault him for it because I don't know where on the development path Trey really was at the beginning of the year. But I'll say this, just watching Trey develop from game 1 to game 2, I think he would have been a lot further along to what he's going to be next year if he had gotten 6 or 7 starts this year or more instead of the 2.
Yeah, we've talked about it the last couple of times, but it just shows the difference between Jed and his uncle and Al Davis, that Jed looks at a couple of playoff wins as a success. And Eddie and Al Davis probably wouldn't. So they're looking at this, worked out fine. From Jed's perspective, it worked out so fine that they're willing to do it another year, apparently, just in case.
Well, Jed's perspective is also tied to the fact that he's had years where people are like, what are you going to do with Jim Tom Sula? What are you going to do with Chip Kelly? How many coaching staffs? How many coaching staffs are you going to pay off? Yeah. What are you paying right now and in total to pay off all these assistant coaches? I mean, he's cut the check repeatedly to clean these regimes out and go in a new direction. So I won't call him cheap. He'll spend his money. But as far as the Rams showed how you got to win it. You got to sprint towards it. That's how the Niners won the last time they won in 94. And that's how you win in the NFL. You got to sprint towards that outcome. And this year, I want to say they ran hard, but the Rams sprinted.
Absolutely. Cleveland Browns sprinted. Chargers sprinted. John Snow 650 says, if Lance can't beat out Jimmy G, then why trade 3 first-round picks for him? The Niners are wasting a Super Bowl roster on a regressing quarterback and a rookie quarterback. That's a fair point too. What are we to think about Trey Lance if he can't beat out Jimmy, who everyone knows exactly what he is, even his biggest fans?
And that's this year. Now, last year, I don't know. But this year, absolutely, I agree. If you can't beat him out, what's he there for?
Last year, there wasn't technically a competition. Trey Lance might have gotten 5% of the first team reps. This year, it sounds like they're going to actually split it, which just sounds so juicy. I can't wait. George says, if the entire NFL did not want you, that is a red flag. The Niners should cut their losses and release him before they deal with embarrassment. Trey Lance is going to win this quarterback competition. I agree with all that, George. I agree.
But enough wondering about his value. The NFL teams in the league defined his value for us, and it's very, very clear. The verdict is in. But the Niners are waiting for, they think they got a puncher's chance of trading him. And because they don't have to trade him today, they're just kicking the can down the road to camp. But I think that's dangerous because I think there could be some guys who don't like the way you've handled Jimmy if you cut him at the beginning of camp.